What's going on, guys? Cam from Alt Nation here. Today I want to talk about who the big four is for many different genres. First, we're going to talk about what the big four is. So the big four refers to the big four thrash bands: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. Metallica equals the most popular, Megadeth equals a step behind the most popular, and also hated. Slayer equals the most dedicated fan base, Anthrax equals underrated. Now that we have our guidelines set, let's get straight into it. We're going to start with 2000s metalcore. So for the Metallica slot, I'm going to have to give it to Killswitch Engage. They are easily the most popular in the genre and have been killing it since the 2000s with two vocalists. Killswitch Engage definitely takes the spot. For Megadeth, it was a tough one to come up with, but I have to say As I Lay Dying. Now that it's only due to their hate. Everyone hates Megadeth, everyone hates As I Lay Dying. The only difference is for Megadeth, Dave Mustaine isn't the biggest piece of shit ever. For Slayer, I'm going with Bullet for My Valentine. They have one hell of a fan base that is dedicated to their music. I think Bullet for My Valentine deserves a spot in the big four of 2000s metalcore. Now for Anthrax, a lot of bands came to mind, but one that should definitely take the spot is Parkway Drive. Parkway Drive are severely underrated in the terms of the 2000s metalcore scene, where they were consistently overshadowed by the other three I mentioned. We're going to now take a look at death metal. For the Metallica spot, there is only one right option, that is Cannibal Corpse. For the success that Cannibal Corpse saw in this genre, it's hard to argue that they don't belong on this list. For the Megadeth slot, I'm going with Morbid Angel. Due to their decline in their later work, they were outshined by Cannibal Corpse and ended up with a bad reputation for their quality of music later on, so they're perfect for the spot. Taking the Slayer spot is the band Death, as they have one of the most dedicated fan bases in the genre, which I'm proud to be a part of. Lastly, in the Anthrax spot, we'll see Obituary take their spot, outshined by the other bands, but they still kick some ass. Next, we're going to talk about MySpace deathcore. With no surprise, Suicide Silence will be taking the Metallica spot. They were megastars when it comes to this genre. With a charismatic beast like Mitch Lucker, they are the best band for the spot. Now, with the Megadeth spot, I gotta give it to Carnifex. As much as I love Carnifex, Scott Ian Lewis just isn't that phenomenal in terms of a vocalist, which evens him out with Dave Mustaine. Sorry, Scott. With the Slayer spot, Whitechapel is gonna get some love for this one. Phil Bozeman's vocals garnered Whitechapel an insane fan base that is absolutely diehard until they dropped Kent. Finally, for the Anthrax spot, I debated between a few options. I think Winds of Plague fits the spot well. They were amazing, but yet they're rarely talked about. Now I want to dive into grunge. For the Metallica slot, it's a no-brainer. Nirvana. Nirvana is one of the most influential bands of all time, and just as popular, if not more popular, than Metallica, and Kurt Cobain still being one of the most influential figures in rock today. Now, for the Megadeth spot, is a band I didn't want to put on here, but I feel like deserves a spot too, due to their hate they receive. The band is Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder receives a ton of hate, which is fair. He's boring, has zero charisma, and I never know what the fuck he's saying. So, Pearl Jam. For the Slayer spot, I was back and forth between Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, but Alice in Chains is my final answer due to the fan base they built under Lane Staley, and there continues to be a huge fan base for Alice in Chains to this day. Lastly, for the Anthrax spot, is the band Silverchair. They don't get nearly the love they deserve. Their debut Frog Stomp came out when they were 16. It's just a masterpiece for the grunge genre. We're going to move on to what I like to call the not-so-metalcore genre. Just wait to see where I'm going with this. For the Metallica spot is Bring Me the Horizon. They are the most popular band in this category of metalcore, if not all of metalcore. And Ollie Sykes helped contribute to this success with their style changing from album to album. As the years went on, they definitely took on a more not-so-metalcore sound. For the Megadeth spot, there is one band that comes to mind. That is Falling in Reverse. Due to Ronnie Radke's mid-music and douchey personality, it's hard to argue that it just works so well in that Megadeth slot. For the Slayer spot, I chose I Prevail due to the fact that every time I've seen them at music festivals, I don't really see many haters, and they have a pretty good fan base that is very supportive of them. Lastly, for the Anthrax spot, this is my complete biased opinion. You guys might not agree with it, but this is just my opinion. Keep that in mind. It's my personal favorite band. Unfortunately, they have shifted into this category with their recent releases. I love, but they still fit well in this one. The band is Wage War. I love their music to death, and I probably will always want Stitch played at my funeral, but I wish they had the same success that Falling in Reverse or Bring Me the Horizon had. They are just so good in the studio and live. Now finally, for our last genre, I want to talk about nu metal. For the Metallica spot, one band that has grown to be huge and is very influential is Korn. With Jonathan Davis doing his scat thing, Fieldy cranking his bass up, Head and Monkey playing some insane riffs, they earn this spot, and I don't think anyone can argue with this. For the Megadeth slot, Limp Bizkit is the one that comes to mind. Fred Durst is a douche, and because of that, Limp Bizkit gets a lot of hate from pretty much everybody. For the Slayer spots, there were a couple that I had in mind. I was torn between Slipknot and System of a Down. My final answer is System of a Down. They have gained themselves one hell of a fan base, don't have a single bad album. Granted, they only have 5. Still, none of them are bad by any means, and they have an insanely passionate fan base that has stuck by them until this day while doing minimal shows. So System of a Down is the only correct answer. Lastly is the Anthrax spot, which I'm going to give to Mudvayne. Mudvayne is great. Nobody talks about them anymore. I know Chad Gray isn't as good live as he used to be, but Mudvayne's work is still great, and they recently dropped Hurt People, which is an awesome song. They should really get some more attention. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Catch you guys in the next one.